to enlighten us with your memories.
A very good morning, Reverend Father Principal, Reverend Father's Vice Principal, our teachers, members of the staff, and our fellow Xaverians. It is a Herculean task for us to summarize all the emotions and experiences of the past 7 years in a nutshell, and I'll try to do justice to the topic and perform it to the best of my ability. Honestly speaking, I'm in this solitudinal tunnel of dilemma, failing to decide which points to put into my speech as there were far too many good experiences. You all must be wondering why the two of us are at this podium today instead of one, rather conventional one. Yet being Berchmans house boys, we have been bred in a way where the values of togetherness and unity have been inculcated in us. In class 6, when our captain, Shayan Rao Chaudhary, walked into our classrooms and assigned our houses, honestly speaking, it hasn't affected us much. All it meant to us was buying just another house badge and a yellow vest. With time passing by, we realized the true value of it. When we talk about our house, one of the first things that comes to our mind is the sports day. Ever since 2009, we have maintained our consistency on the sports day, strongly holding one end of the points table. You know which one. Hence, after 7 years, the Berchmans House boys have found themselves in a position when they can proudly say that they believe in the English proverb, the flip side is always true. That does not overshadow our performances in the other fields, winning the Tug of War and the House Cup twice each in the last 6 years. The A and B teams of Berchmans House in football always won accolades, and it was no different in the other games. All these years, there was one man, Mr. Brett Fernandez, who stood like a rock when it came to house activities. And he was the inspiration. And I shall quote him from one of our house meetings in class 7, when he said, "At the end of the year, I want to see yellow ribbons tied to the house cup and not blue or red or green or any other color." The speech would be incomplete without mentioning a name of the few boys of Berchmans House. Rohan Patro, for being a brash yet a very committed individual. If Berchmans House was a golden ring, then Judhajit Biswas was surely the diamond of Africa. If you don't trust me, you should go try to his Instagram account once. You'll find your answer. My co-speaker Shaunak Sengupta had a stature which was incomparable, and people around him started performing due to that. As far as my co-speaker goes, no matter how enthusiastic or excited he was about the house activities, the badge always eluded him. Now coming to the actual badge holders, we have experienced both fire and ice in Kingshuk and Yashwant respectively, who are very different in discharging their duties. Yet, they worked with one common goal, which was success of Berchmans House. If I have to mention an anecdote of our friendship, then I would like to talk about this year's class photograph. When Yashwant Gaggar came up to me and told me, "Ishan, Kingshuk has his class photograph and he needs a house badge for it. So could you give him your badge?" And I replied by saying, "Yashwant, why don't you give yours?" And I guess Kingshuk had to take the photograph without a badge. I get that, Ishan. Now, recollecting a personal experience of mine, it was a sports day of the last academic year. I had handed over the yellow flag to a student of class 8 before I left the enclosed area for the tug of war pull. The gleam of excitement and happiness in his eyes on just getting one opportunity to wave that flag, to shear his heart out, had left me amazed. And today it makes me proud to say that this is the level of attachment of a Berchmans House boy to his house. Every boy from class 6 to class 12 had a passion which spurred him on. And I remember, rather categorically remember, on the different sports days, there was this one event, which was the obstacles race. Now there were people who were not athletes, yet they wanted to contribute to the house. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, while the obstacle race was going on, there was this particular place where you have to go through the ropes. While they were going through the ropes, there was a chance of injury. And there were injuries. But once again, I'll request you to trust me, none of them complained. Because they knew that each cut and each bruise was a sign of their love and contribution towards their house.
It was until I realized what exactly it feels to be a Berchmans houseboy before this recent experience of mine. My last burst of sprint in this year's heat wasn't a mere rush of adrenaline. It surely wasn't with the objective of qualifying for the final race on the sports day. But I guess it was the yellow vest which I wore which spurred me on.
Reps and captains, they've fought physical ailments, they've had weight issues, and they've also had breathing problems. And they did this even during the reps relay. They knew, irrespective of the fact, of what people think, whether or not it was significant, yet they ran because they wanted to make a small difference towards the house. And they wanted to uphold the respect which was showered towards Berchmans' house.
Our stay in Berchmans' house was like a relay race. We were handed over the baton by our seniors, we ran the due course of the race, and now time has come for us to pass the baton over to you, to pass on the legacy. All that we can say to our juniors is that, do live up to the words of John Berchmans. Whatever you do, do it well.
We do realize that during the course of these years, while we were discharging our duties or we were performing for our house, we might have faced banter. We might have been looked down upon. Yet, once again quoting St. John Berchmans himself, we would like to say, our true worth does not consist in what human beings think of us.
5 minutes is never enough to finish your speech and speak your heart out. But as fate has it, we have to end here. To conclude today's speech, I would like to say, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
We may feel sad to leave our house behind as we are passing out. Yet, in life, we know that if we set sail to explore the world, we need to have the courage to let the shore go out of our sight. Thank you.
Thank you.